Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
All right, well, we know spring calving is one of the busiest times on the farming calendar, and good preparation can make a major difference to calf health, cow recovery and milk production. Farmlands has produced a 9-part cow-to-calf video series covering practical advice on calving preparation, colostrum, calf health, feeding and nutrition. Joining us now is Farmlands calving expert and technical specialist Karen Fraser. Karen, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for your time. Lovely to chat.
I know. Lovely to see you, and thank you for inviting me onto your show.
Oh, it's awesome to have you, Karen. Now, I know all about your background because I know you, but our audience doesn't. Tell us how you become Farmlands calving expert.
Just years of experience, really. So no tertiary education there, just years of farming and young stock managing for about 30 years now, from dairy farming, cropping, farm ownership, contracting, and then like calf rearing programs across multiple dairy units. So sort of been there, done that before coming to Farmlands as a technical specialist, which is really cool.
Now, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but as a bloke on a dairy farm, it's fair to say we don't really enjoy calf rearing. I know it's one of the most important jobs.
Oh, true.
But what do you love about calf rearing?
It's more it's probably the people more than anything. Just watching people grow within our industry, and taking those people that have never touched an animal before become really good stockmen. Like the whole calf rearing side is pretty much so important for our farms, right from the word go right through to being productive animals. And it's a part that we quite often jump over because we worry about the dairy cow instead of where that life actually starts. So for me, it's people and becoming productive animals without hefty veterinary support.
Now, this time of the year, and I know certain parts of the country will well and truly be underway under calving and have lots of calves on the ground, and other parts of the country, particularly further south, still getting into it. What should farmers be checking and preparing before calving gets fully underway? What should we be doing right now?
For me, especially for the calf rearing space, I'm a big one on checking your water quality. If we've got poor water quality, or especially if it's got high like minerals and contents or antagonist type things like iron or E. coli, that can actually change how our animals perform. And so for me, that's one thing I always encourage, especially new farms, if you've swapped from one farm to another and it's had lots of issues on farm, that's something I tick off as a must do, is check your water quality first, because as we know, water is a key nutrient to animal performance. And as for everything else, it's getting well prepared, checking that you've got everything that you need. There's nothing worse than getting to a Sunday and you find you haven't even got the basics like electrolytes ready for those calves when they hit the ground. So it's just sort of ticking all those boxes. Make sure that your sheds have plenty of airflow. If you had a bit of a swimming pool in them last season, get them sorted this season with drainage around your sheds. If you haven't got the right infrastructure for your calving spread, you might have to boot some of those tractors and motorbikes out of the shed and get them prepared as well, just in case.
Yeah, that's always a trick. Yeah, old calf shed does get used as a storage shed in between calving seasons. We know that. I just want to come back to water quality. So that's an interesting one. It's not one that I had ever considered, Karen, to be honest. I just thought water was water. Are you suggesting we do like some sort of water test? And if that's the case,
Yeah, totally.
What do we do? What do you do with your water then if it's not right?
So just taking a hills test, so using your Farmlands technical field specialist and getting them to come out and take some of those water supplies, water tests, and making sure that it's done correctly, because that's a key part. But pretty much if we have clean water, that drives that feed intake and our growth. the digestion and overall health, but also, as we know, as dairy farmers, water, if we have good water that tastes really good, our animals will also give us more milk. And so I tend to look at that water as being the first key. And if it's loaded with bacteria or like E. coli, just that one moment we could be doing everything right and doing our basics super right, but we overlook how water can actually stop from some of those major minerals from being absorbed into the animal as well. So it's sort of a key. But for me, water quality sort of comes into play, especially if people are using calf milk replacers. If they start mixing them and they've got high levels of E. coli, we start getting more bacterial loading, we start seeing more bloat. The first port of call is we tend to blame the milk powder and not look at our water. And same if it's frothing or becoming quite brown when we're mixing our CMRs, then that water quality could have actually been the problem.
Okay,
and what we can,
put a filter, I guess, is what we're talking about, if that's required.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
So that's, again, interesting. I would have thought we were just talking about drinking water, but I hadn't considered calf milk replacer, which is mixed with water. So you actually need your filter right in the shed.
Yes.
So both water supplies for the calves, calf milk replacer and fresh water in the shed itself. Okay. All right, as I said, you learn something every day. So the other thing that is really important, obviously, is colostrum. And I know we talk about it and we sort of gloss over it a little bit, but just how important is it?
It's pretty much the single most important feed for that calf. That unlike us humans, that our immunities come across from our parents or our mother, calves are born with like very little immunity. And so they're relying on those antibodies from colostrum during that critical window or those first hours of life. So if they don't receive enough colostrum and quickly enough, then they're sort of more at risk of having those diseases or poor growth, or if it's a dairy heifer especially, then a reduced lifetime performance, where she's got to last 9 or 10 years. So, it's the 5 Qs of colostrum. And for me, we've got the quality, the quantity, quickly, but we've also got squeaky clean, which is that bacterial loading that we don't want in colostrum. And one that a lot of people don't talk about as quietly, if we have calves that are calm, they can absorb a lot of colostrum a lot better, and stress reduces that gut or that blood flow, and it can reduce that sort of efficiency of those antibodies being absorbed. So making sure things are quiet and low stress handling, that's all just another part of that important colostrum management.
Okay. What about ad lib feeding? What's your view on this? Because I know some people like it and some people don't. What's your view on ad lib?
It's like ad lib milk feeding. It's become a popular thing again. In the old days, we used to do it, and I think it was done quite poorly. We had a lot of bacteria and things. If we do it super well, this has a lot of pluses for us, for our calves, in that early growth, and so it's become really popular. But I think the thing we've got to really remember, or the key, is we're feeding 2 animals at once, sort of thing. We've got that animal that's digesting like a monogastric, but we're developing that future ruminant. And so when we have those high volumes of milk programs going in, we have to really make sure that we're also encouraging that really good rumen development. We've got access to that clean water. Quite often we don't think that they're going to drink much water, but they actually need that water for digestion as well as growing that rumen. But the critical part is we have to come back off that ad lib, and that might be around 5 or 6 weeks, and we start doing a gradual step down off those high volumes of milk so that we can really get that little rumen kicked into gear, and it gives us a smoother transition.
All right. Just quickly before we go, because we are running out of time, what about rumen development then? And what do farmers need to do to support this? Because we do know that is so important. What sort of products or what do they need to be doing to ensure good rumen development?
So pretty much having that fresh, clean, reachable water, that's a must. It's pretty hard to eat dry wheat bix without water. Having a really good top quality calf feed there, like for us that's the Searles, Winslow and Reliance calf feed brands. That's what we support, and just making sure that we're putting out a little bit and often, and just matching what they're actually eating. We're not adding anything to encourage them. Everything that they need is in those pellets as well. But pretty much the sooner we start, which is pretty much in that first 4 days of life, we can start just giving a little bit after their milk feed, and they're all about learning a habit. It's either going to be a good habit or a bad habit, and we want to start that good habit sooner.
All right, now we've just gone over very quickly and a whole lot of a very, very big topic, but you've done this in depth. You've got a 9-part cow to calf series produced by Farmlands. Where can farmers watch this? How can they find it to get a lot more detail than you and I could have chatted in this quick chat?
Yeah, so we've got the fantastic cow to calf video series. That's on our Farmlands YouTube channel, and that covers everything from that dry off, as you said, calf setup, calf care, electrolytes, the whole shebang. And we've also got an animal calf rearing guide, which has put all our technical knowledge into this one guide, and that can help you go through all the things to do with calf rearing. But pretty much just jump onto that Farmlands YouTube channel and watch the series. Download that calf rearing guide.
All right, Karen Fraser, thank you so much for your time here on Countrywide Connect today. Yes, get the full 9-part cow to calf series available on the Farmlands website and the YouTube channel. We'll talk again. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. See ya.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.